Grief is love. My spoken journey through the great missing. My daddy went to heaven to be with Jesus on January 13, 2017. My baby Heaven went to be with Jesus November 27, 2004. Two great losses, two different grief experiences. Both led to great grief. This is what I call the great missing. I invite you to come sit here beside me in the house of love. I will share the stories of my heart with you. I will share how I learned that great love leads to great grief whenever you experience great loss. Great grief always leads to what I call the great missing and eventually the great resting. Through all of my great losses, including my daddy and our daughter, I have learned to embrace that grief is love from the inside out. When I feel my grief, I am experiencing moments of the depths of my loving them. When I express my grief, the tears and the smiles, I am giving voice and expression to my deep internal love for my daddy, my baby Heaven, as well as all of my other great losses. So with my daddy as one example, I feel and express my great grief for my precious loss. Great love leads to grief. To grieve in a healthy way, I learned to give myself permission to be real about my feelings in my grief experience. I learned to give myself permission to fully feel and fully express my great grief whenever I need to feel and express my great love. Every memory, every remembrance, every thought has all melted into love. The expression of my grief is evidence of all the unspent love in my heart for him. Grief gives an outlet for my love from the inside out. So to the deep measure we love, we deeply grieve. To the measure we grieve, is evidence of this deep and great love we are blessed to have and to hold on to in their memory. So just as my love is a gift, so is my grief to remind me of this great love we shared, which is the very reason why I am experiencing what I call the great missing. I also find and receive the sweetest holy comfort and peace in what I call the great resting, in the promises of my promise keeper. It so deeply comforts my heart that my Jesus, my Daddy God, has promised me and us that my daddy and my baby and all of our loved ones and our beloved friends who are resting in his arms of love in heaven will be reunited with us. Oh, the joy we will experience on that sweet heavenly day, the beautiful day of eternity, that will never end. In my sorrow of feeling my daddy's absence, it comforts me when I focus and meditate on the visual of seeing my daddy experiencing the gift of perfect peace. Visualizing his heavenly reality, which is complete wholeness, brings my heart such comfort. My daddy is also experiencing the addition of every perfect gift from his perfect heavenly Father in exchange for the subtraction of all the earthly emotional and mental woes. All the physical and relational troubles, all the weights, trials, heartbreaks, hurts, pain, sorrow, stresses, worries, sickness, and even his own grief over his own former losses are completely gone, as if they had never even happened. I mean, he is not just taking a break or pause from all of the hurts and heartbreaks. Instead, all of his sadness, loneliness, insecurities, and all those hurtful memories are completely gone. From his last breath here on earth to his first breath of heaven's perfect peace, everything not good was instantly gone. All of that turned into love gifts. Everything he gained was all good and perfectly good. How could I not be so happy for him? Just so sad for me and all of us that love and greatly miss him. I am so very happy for my daddy. The joy I feel for his relief of the earthly stuff that so burdened him in this life supersedes the intense loss I feel with his absence. Something so much greater, so much sweeter, much more wonderful has become his eternal heavenly reality. I see him fully surrounded and fully filled with the gifts of his Abba Daddy God's fullness. It's like eternal Christmas for him, being eternally full of the massiveness and abundant greatness of Christ Jesus' fullness and the surplus of his endless love gifts. Envisioning his heavenly reality so deeply comforts my heart to grateful tears. This is where my heart visually goes and has been for so many years now, and it brings me restful, immeasurable peace, especially on the hardest days, anniversaries, birthdays, holidays. Any day, every day, moment by moment, breath by breath, through the tears, smile by smile. I know he is experiencing the greater good Daddy God added to and worked out of all those earthly not so good things, all for his heavenly greater good. Maybe like me, you are experiencing the great missing, but you just don't know how or haven't gotten to the great resting part yet. That's okay, friend. It's a process that needs time to distill, breathe through, and feel. One moment, one day, one layer, one day, week, month, and year at a time. My encouragement to you is to give yourself permission to feel what you need to feel when you need to feel it. Give yourself permission to express the depths of your internal love from the inside out when and however you need to express it. Also, you have to go at your pace. Your timing is your timing, so there is no rush, no template, no deadline or finish line. There is no race, so go at your pace. There is no order of service or timeline to meet. You get to lie down in green pastures so he can restore your soul. You get to let him lead you beside still waters, which is not set up to be a quick tour. The purpose of the great resting is being with your gentle shepherd, who is your faithful companion. He walks the valleys and low places with you until you are able, one step at a time, to ascend to the next step and the next step. The great resting is just as an important part of your heart's healing journey as is the great missing. Just remember, you cannot rest when you feel like you have to hold it all in for everyone else's comfort, or you feel like you have to manage it all alone in the darkness of your heart's aching. Please, don't silence your grief. Your grief is your love. Please don't let anyone else try to silence your grief or make you feel like you have to hide it either. Remember, just as you did not hide your love for your loved one when they were living, neither should you have to hide your grief. Your love needs a voice, and it needs an outlet to be expressed, to heal with the right people who know how to hold your heart and hold space for you, one moment, one day at a time. You have to feel it to heal it. You have to express it with the right people, however, and whenever you need to express it, just don't ever repress or suppress it. You were not created to be a storehouse to house and store all of this pain, sorrow, and heartache. You need to get it out. You need an outlet. You need an outlet that feels emotionally safe for the expression of your love, which is your grief. It's there. You just don't see it yet. There is a hand of love reaching out to you. You just don't feel or see it yet, but that doesn't mean he isn't there. Healing love is with you in the dark. Love himself is inviting you to take his hand. He wants you to release the heaviness in your heart, soul, mind, and spirit, your whole being, to make room for healing love to come in. Releasing the heaviness in your heart, soul, mind, and spirit is not letting go of your love for who you were missing. Rather, it is holding on to the hand of love, who is holding on to your loved one's hand in heaven. He is forever your connecting point between heaven and earth, so holding on to him is holding on to your loved one and the love you have for them. When I embraced grief as love, all of a sudden I felt different about releasing it from the inside out. It has been healing to me to feel my love for my daddy and embrace the moments when tears of weeping flow, or I hear myself laugh and feel myself smiling, remembering my daddy's funny sense of humor. This is when I know, see, and feel all the sweet evidence, the beautiful measure and the visible expression of my internal love for him from the inside out. Sadly, I did not do this or know to do this when I lost my little baby Heaven. I held it all in telling people I was okay, but I really was not okay at all. The repression and suppression of my real feelings and all of the deep sadness turned to deep secret and hidden depression. This dug a dark pit in the depths of my heart and soul. Not expressing my grief or my real feelings kept me stuck in the deep hurt, sorrow, and grief. You name it. I felt it all. I felt so all alone in it and felt so stuck in all of it. All of that deep repression turned to deep depression. If only I had felt safe to be real about what I was feeling. If only I had felt safe to verbally and externally express my grief, sorrow, and absolute devastation having lost my baby. If only I would have had a person that I felt completely safe with to be real about how very bad I was hurting inside. There are so many what ifs and if onlys I could share with you, but the real truth is, I just didn't know then what I know now. I didn't know how to grieve in a healthy way and honor my baby through expressing my real feelings and all my grief out loud. Sadly, even if I did know how to grieve in a healthy way, I really didn't have anyone that I felt like it was okay to not be okay around them. I also didn't have anyone that I was talking to on a daily basis that really showed me that their heart was there for me to be fully real with them. I can't tell you how hard that was, on top of carrying the weight of my grief. I literally had to carry it all by myself. But what I do want to share with you is that my daddy God was there for me. I thank God I had his compassionate heart to turn to. But even so, my prayers in my times of grief were nothing but tears or just silence. Sometimes that is all I could get out. Literally nothing but the tears. But deep down inside, I know those were really my most honest prayers. All of those tears, even the silent prayers, were truly the most real I was being about my deep, aching, heartbreaking sorrow and pain. Do you want to know what was so precious to my heart? Let me share with you that in those times of my deepest grief and sorrow, even when words wouldn't come and only the language of my tears could be heard, God made it so safe for me to bring my heartache and deep sorrow to Him. He made me feel so safe to be okay with not being okay, which was a much-needed gift that no one had given to me but that He did. I will never forget His nearness, patience, gentleness, and tenderness. Most truly, in every way I needed, He was being my compassionate and gentle shepherd, just like He promises us He will be. What a precious gift. Now, with all of that said, which I know was emotionally heavy but was me being deeply honest with you, my heart's thoughts are turning towards you. And if it is okay with you, I am just wondering about your heart right now. I am wondering if this is where you find yourself right now. So please know that I really do get it. I understand and empathize with you. I want you to know that you are not alone. Even if you feel like you are alone, He is right there with you. Just like He was here for me. He is here with you and He is for you. Please know that my heart is also here for you too. That is why I am sharing my story with you, in hopes that I could be a safe place and a safe heart for you to share your story with, like I so wish I would have had when I was grieving. My encouragement to you today is to find those who you feel safe with to begin to reveal your real, so you can begin to heal. Please remember, it's not healthy to hide and suppress your real feelings. So, Please do not deny yourself the right you have to be authentically real about what your heart is going through. I learned being real is how you heal. I also learned the more I embraced grief as love, when walking through my grief journey losing my daddy. I learned that I have never gone back to that deep pit of depression I found myself in when I lost my baby Heaven. Did I weep when I missed him? Absolutely. Did I eventually find I could smile or laugh when a memory of him would come? Absolutely. You see, it was acknowledging and embracing that my grief was all the unspent love I still had for him in my heart that needed being expressed. Therefore, in my weeping or moments of smiling, it really helped me to finally be able to honor my love for him on the sunshiny and the not-so-sunshiny days by giving myself permission to feel what I needed to feel, when I needed to feel it. I also gave myself permission that it really is okay and very healthy to express out loud whatever I needed to express to someone I trusted. Whether it was a sweet memory, more tears, laughter, or a precious story I remembered about my daddy. I learned grief's purpose wasn't there to hurt me or to prolong my suffering, but grief's purpose was to keep my daddy's memory alive and to remind me that all the love I have for my daddy and all the love he gave to me is still very much alive inside of me, as well as all the love we shared together. His love still has a heartbeat inside of me, and that truth and reality is very healing and so comforting to my heart. You see, the big difference between these two grief experiences I had was, with my miscarriage, I did not give myself permission to feel what I needed to feel or to express what I needed to express when I was hurting. Sadly, I was worried about making others feel uncomfortable with my grief. I also felt like they just wouldn't understand, especially if they had never lost and buried a baby before it was born. Also, the additional pain it caused me when others' insensitive comments seemed to minimize my pain, as if losing a baby was not as bad as losing someone you had years of memories with. What I learned is that with my baby, what I grieved were all the things that I would never get to experience with her. There would be no good or happy memories, no pictures or videos, no celebration of life events like birthdays, holidays, graduations, marriage, or her children's births. I only had these very heartbreaking, sad memories of losing her before she was due to be born. It is true that with my daddy I had 47-something years of memories to grieve, the good and not so good memories plus all the pictures and videos and special times we had shared, as well as grieving the memories we would never get to create and share together in this life until we are reunited again someday in heaven. These were two very different losses, but still the same deep heartache of losing someone you love, no matter how old they are. It is just devastating nonetheless, but sadly people didn't understand losing my baby was just as heartbreaking of a loss as losing my daddy. But these two losses and the grief I felt with each loss were just so different. Just because I didn't have any good memories created yet with my daughter didn't mean my grief with losing her should have been treated as if I should just be able to quickly move on. Trust me, that is absolutely not true. So don't let anyone treat you like that. Don't let them minimize or measure your grief pain as if one loss is or isn't as hurtful as the other. Loss is loss, and it's just heartbreaking no matter what. No one else gets to decide what you are or are not allowed to feel or express. Just as you did not hide your love for your loved one when they were living, you should not have to hide your grief for them after they pass. The important thing for you is to allow space and time for your heart to feel it, to heal it. Hiding, suppressing, or minimizing your real feelings only prolongs your suffering. Their love will always be alive inside of you. You don't have to prolong your suffering to prove your love. Your grief already is the great proof of your love. So it's embracing your grief as evidence of your love, and that your grief is there to help you feel and express your love for your loved one that helps to heal your heart. Grief is not there to harm you. It is there to help you with your sorrow and suffering. Grief is there to make your love for your loved one visible and audible, not to hide it, suppress, or avoid. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that by hiding my real grief and feelings that I was unknowingly suppressing my love out loud, trying not to make anyone uncomfortable with my grief. But the real truth is that I was in so much pain from worrying about trying not to make others uncomfortable with my grief, that by doing so, it made me go even deeper in my grief by not being able to honor not only my baby girl's life and her memory, but also not being able to honor my own heart's grief. I didn't know at that time that my own heart's grief was representative of my deep love for my baby Heaven, which had already deeply grown in this mama's heart. With my grief losing my daddy, I will tell you that as I learned to embrace my deep grief as being representative of my deep love for him, I was able to begin to see all this grief after losing him was really the beautiful evidence of my great love. So this truly gave me permission to express and feel all of that love I had in my heart for him, from the inside out, which really helped me to heal. You might ask, why? Because I gave myself permission to be real, to feel and honestly reveal my true feelings without feeling like I had to tone it down or hide my real feelings. With my baby Heaven, I remember writing in my journal asking myself, am I even grieving like a normal griever? I was in a fog. Waves of grief would sweep over me day after day, all through the night to the break of each day. I mean, even when I wanted to grieve in a healthy way, I didn't have a clue how to, and there wasn't anyone there to help me through it. I remember that I would privately cry and weep, not feeling safe to show those emotions to anyone else. I didn't feel it was safe to be real to anyone on the outside about the deep pain I was in on the inside. I observed, everyone just went back to their normal life, and after they did, there just wasn't any room when I was around them to still not be okay. From comments they made to me or comments I heard that they had made behind my back, I felt like when I was around them, I had to pretend that I was doing okay, but the real truth deep down inside was, I knew I was not doing okay at all. I wasn't doing good at all. I felt so alone in my sorrow. I want you to know that should have never happened to me, nor should it ever happen to you. It does not matter how recent or how long ago that you lost someone that you love so deeply. Hear me say, it is okay to not be okay. It is completely normal that you are still feeling your grief, with as much great love you are still carrying and holding in that great space in your heart for the precious one that you lost. Because your grief is the evidence of your great love, it makes sense that you would still be carrying around and holding great grief in that space in your heart because you love and miss them so deeply. When you begin to remember and embrace that grief is love, the language of your tears begin to speak for you, and they also speak comfort and healing to you instead of interpreting your tears as if they mean something is wrong with you. Don't let anyone make you feel like you need to hurry up and get over your grieving. Don't allow anyone to minimize your experience while grieving. Love doesn't get buried. Love doesn't have a grave site. Their love is breathing and still alive on the inside of you, which is why you are still grieving. Grief is not a race to the finish line. So you don't have to go at the pace of a race. You learn to walk it out one step at a time. There's no deadline. So you are able to stop at any time for a little rest. Then when you are ready, you pick yourself up and begin to move forward again at your own pace. When you are not under the pressure of trying to hurry up and finish your grief, and you allow yourself rest areas with your Holy Comforter along the way, you will experience in time that your whole being is eventually able to safely enter a meaningful place of resting in God's comforting, healing peace in your grieving that He has prepared just for you. Giving yourself rest areas along the way doesn't negate what you are going through. Your body doesn't forget the emotional stress you have already been through and are still experiencing. But allowing yourself to rest along the way really does give your whole being the healing strength it needs for the journey. Resting also gives you a renewability in God's grace to help you as you get back up. His grace gives you renewed strength step by step, and healing strength ache by ache. Resting in your grief with God helps you to experience the reward of the promised rest God has for you through Him, through His strength and ability. It's so worth the reward of your grieving rest and the time it takes to heal, knowing on the other side of being real, you get to finally rest, which helps you to heal. Remember, rest doesn't mean you are not still hurting. It just means that you've reached a new place where your heart aching eventually has turned to rest, and peace is felt moment by moment as you learn how to grieve breath by breath. Comparing grieving the precious loss of my daughter versus grieving the loss of my daddy, I feel like I learned to acknowledge my grief in a way that is healthy, allowing myself to be real, feel and express it all, every emotion, through it all, as visible evidence of my deep love for my daddy. I have not felt alone at all in my healing journey with grief this time because I know and chose to experience and embrace grief this time as love. To the measure I gave myself permission to feel what I needed to feel and to express my grief however, and whenever it needed to be expressed, I healed. Healing wasn't me waiting for the sadness to go away. Healing was embracing the sadness, sorrow, and grief I was experiencing. Healing was learning to embrace my grief as my daily reminder, remembrance, and evidence of the great measure of the love I was and I'm still holding in my heart. For my daddy and my baby heaven too. This helped me reach the place of great resting in my great missing. I learned that less tears on one day or more tears on one day, or even smiles that came with the happy memories I remembered or just having a good day wasn't a love barometer, a love thermometer or a love calculator of my heart. All the grief, which is love, made room and space for all of the expressions of my love, which included all the smiles, all the tears, all the weeping and all the moments of joy. Knowing and feeling the love of my best, most holy comforter friend, love himself, and feeling and seeing the visible evidence of my love for my daddy and my baby heaven on the outside has changed the whole grieving experience. I learned that as I never hid my love, I will not hide my grief. Grief is love. So if I smile, if I cry when I think of those I dearly miss, it's all love. It all melts into love, and in this healing oasis of love, I am healed by love through my visible and audible expression of my grief as my love. I invite you to this oasis of healing love so you don't feel like so alone in the darkness of your heartache. You have love himself, and those of us who love you to walk with you. We are all here helping walk each other home, one day one step at a time. We can't fix each other. We can't make it all better or give back the loved one we've lost, even if we tried our best. All we can do is keep loving and comforting each other through it all, through everything. In our grief, if we allow it, when we chose to embrace and receive the gift of healing love each day, each moment, each step, each year, there will be smiles and there will be tears, there will be moments in between, but all of it will be sweet evidence of your love from the inside out, love for your loved one and love for your Holy Comforter. He's our best friend, the best promise keeper of all. He promises that love will never leave you comfortless. He is our Holy Comforter, the beautiful, gentle shepherd of our souls. He promises to never leave or forsake us. He will never abandon or fail us. But He will stay with you and me forever and every day we live here on this earth until that sweet heavenly, endless day which will never end in a goodbye, only a forever hello with your loved ones for all of eternity. Remember this during the great missing until you experience the great resting. Rest in love, feel the love, express your love, heal in love and hope with love. Love is with you through it all, through everything. Heart to heart in His love. Momo Smiley.